So this is my shoe review of the Adizero Pro by Adidas, and yeah, it's Adidas's first shot at a carbon fiber plate in a marathon racing shoe. I did the first run in the shoe. I've done a couple of runs in the shoe so far. The first run, I think I did about 1 hour's worth of run at about 5 minutes a kilometer, or 7.5 miles an hour. It was an easy run in the shoe, so I didn't pick up any speed as of yet. I usually test the shoe for a couple of runs on easy runs first, kind of get to see how the shoe rolls off the forefoot, as well as how much support it has when I'm landing in the heel. And the first thing I noticed about the shoe is the styling, the colorway. Adidas has definitely hammered the nail on the head, and the colorway of the shoe is amazing. It fades from an orange to a white in a lot of the shoes. Some of the shoes I've seen in different colorways have a solid white sole, and yeah, or the 3 Adidas stripes coming here on the midfoot side of the shoe. They've changed the design of the shoes quite a lot from the other Adidas races, and it's extremely light, see-through upper. It's a great lockdown. I've noticed the lockdown of the shoe is great. They've also got eyelets here as well, a couple of different eyelet options, so you can lace the shoe up how you see fit or how you enjoy the lace up of the shoe, which is quite a nice touch from Adidas. It's quite a low tongue, so the tongue sits very, very low down in the front of the shoe, which is quite thin and quite lightweight, but it has a great lockdown in the front of the shoe with a very minimal upper and tongue. In the rear of the shoe, you can see they've got a little bit of Adidas boost, which they've put in the heel part. This is now for some of the heel strikers, or when you're going at a lower speed in the shoe, you heel strike with the shoe a tiny bit more. Some heel strikers do, and it definitely, you can feel it. It's a lot softer in the heel in the shoe than it is in the midfoot, and especially in the forefoot of the shoe, it's a lot firmer ride than many of the other carbon plate marathon running shoes out there. They have a collaboration with Continental Rubber, so in the forefoot here, this is all Continental Rubber, which is very nice, and it's definitely a soft feel to the forefoot part from the feeling part of it. But when you're running, you definitely do notice that slapping on the tarmac, something that I try to kind of stay away from. I've noticed the louder the shoe is on the road, sometimes the more impact I have on my legs. So I kind of listen while I'm running. How does this shoe sound on the road? And this shoe definitely sounded quite hard on the road, but it definitely had a great spring off. So it's got the spring off on the toe is quite prominent in the shoe. They say obviously you shouldn't bend carbon fiber plate shoes, but you got to feel what it feels like with your hands sometimes. So try not to bend it too far. I've heard of people cracking plates and things in racing shoes like that. Obviously your foot doesn't bend to that extreme. So yeah, it's overall well-designed shoe. Here I would say for a marathon, this would be too hard. Half marathon, I would also say I would probably put the shoe in the realm of 5K, 10K racing shoe. For a marathon, I think you'd need more support, especially in the forefoot. It's been 22 millimeters thick. And at the back it goes to a 32 millimeters in the rear of the shoe by the boost, so it's a 10 millimeter drop. The plate is top loaded carbon fiber plate, which you definitely do notice. Hopefully with Adidas they'll be changing the new marathon shoe that should be coming out in the next few months. Much higher stack height. They got this light strike, then a lot more of the light strike in the next iteration of the shoe for the marathon racer, and definitely interesting to see how that one feels versus this one. This one being very firm. I've heard that one's got carbon fiber rods, completely different design to this shoe being a more traditional style racing flat. You definitely do feel the toe off though in this shoe, so don't get me wrong. It's just not as soft and as squishy as some of the other shoes, racing shoes out there, which they're definitely heading towards the 40 millimeter in the rear of the heel. similar 8 to 10 millimeter drop in the shoe. Through the corners as well, there was very little rocking going in the corners. It was very planted. It's got a very, very wide toe box as well, which is quite nice. It doesn't squish my foot. I've got a bit of a wider foot than most. And if you can see here, the boost foam actually runs all the way towards the midfoot, almost to the forefoot, and goes around. It kind of hugs the boost foam in the shoe, so the light strike kind of hits on the outside and the boost is in the middle. I think that's to give the shoe a little bit more stability, because the light strike foam definitely feels a lot firmer than the boost foam does. Overall, I think I'll give the shoe probably about a 6.5 out of 10 on the Murray scale, which is not particularly that high. For myself, I like a shoe that's soft. I grew up barefoot running, so I like a shoe that's nice and soft. This one is pretty firm, pretty hard, of being very firm on top, with the bottom being a little bit soft. And I think that's got to do with the carbon plate being raised up really high in the shoe. I've also seen, I haven't taken the sole out because the sole is glued into the shoe here. But I've heard that the sole has been thickened quite a lot to try and give a little bit more cushioning on the top of the shoe. So definitely a shoe that's quite a lot firmer than others. If you do maybe a mile race, or you do a 3K race or a 5K race, will be a pretty good option. But just remember that your legs might be a little bit beaten up afterwards, just because it has a little bit less cushioning than some of the other racing flats that are currently available today. So yeah, I hope if you guys enjoy this video, give it the thumbs up. And you can check the other reviews out here on the left of the recent shoes that I've tested, the Nike Pegasus, as well as the Asics Meta Racer. So you guys want to head out, you can go and check those other reviews on how those shoes felt. That would be great. And hope to see you guys soon for another shoe review or another triathlon. Cheers.